Hello and welcome to the DVD commentary for The Revenge of Jedikiah. I don't think that's funny, but everyone here seems to think it is. My name's Nick Briggs, and sitting in chairs next to me with psi dampening fields on their heads and electrodes attached, Nicholas Young.
Hi, Nick.
Peter Von Clark.
Hello, Nick, again.
Here we are. And also the producer of the Tomorrow People audio series, who apparently isn't going to say anything, Jason Haig-Ellery.
Go and tell Professor...
And that's right.
He just leant forward to the microphone and didn't say anything. Oh, damn. You may hear him breathing later, or maybe that's Jedikiah.
I think we see a great piece of acting here from the assembled masses, don't we?
Mm.
That guy at the back there looks like he's just stepped out of a Ford Cortina 1600E, the one with the T-shirt there.
Is that what they used to wear, then?
That's
What they used to wear, was it?
Yes. I wonder why that bloke's career never developed.
Why did they zoom up to that bit of rock there?
Something was underneath it.
Was it?
No, I don't think so, but...
See, women are pathetic. They faint when they see something nasty, don't they?
Now, of course, as agreed, you've both prepared 10 interesting facts about this story.
Absolutely.
So, Nicholas, what's your first interesting fact?
I just like the assembled audience to know that Nick is actually lying when he says that we were asked to produce 10 riveting facts. I think I've already given you the riveting fact about... No, I'm not going to come into that, sorry. There was no riveting at all, sorry. That's a fact.
Well,
Mummy's curse, here we go, Mummy's curse.
Right.
She gets very angry once a month.
Whoa, that is scary.
It is, isn't it?
I may have
Must
to
have
leave.
appalling injuries to get all those bandages.
Now, this is Jedikiah, really, isn't it? From the first story.
Yes, the shape changer, quite right.
Change
Probably actually an extra in bandages.
I've actually still got one of the props, and it's sitting at home, and you'll see it later on.
Really?
So he's changed into a woman. Very trendy nowadays, isn't it?
I think
He's a tranny. He's a tranny, in fact. That's what they call it, isn't it?
Ooh, what's going on?
Danger, I've got to go. Get out of my way.
And look, another returning character.
Yeah,
Professor Thingy.
with a very unbuttoned shirt.
His winged collar again.
Professor Johnston.
Oh, I see. So he doesn't realise that it's actually old Jedi.
That very tailored shirt was very trendy in the 70s, wasn't it?
It was,
Yes.
yes.
You can see his love handles there.
Absolutely.
Oh, dear.
So he now is a fully fledged archaeologist, is he?
There's an explanation of that coming up.
Well, I think, as I've already pointed out, the thing about most archaeologists is they have their career in ruins.
Who is she, that actress?
I don't know.
She's quite good,
Is she?
I
But
think.
it's
yeah.
very good for women, though, because if you go out with an archaeologist, the older you get, the more interested he becomes in you. So you didn't let me do part 2 of the gag, did you, Nick?
Where's the drum kit? Brum.
You should have brought me on this expedition.
There we go.
Oh, he's deeply touched.
There's an explanation of...
Interdisciplinary cross-fertilization, he calls it.
That sounds a bit kinky, doesn't it? Interdisciplinary cross-fertilisation.
Big words for the Tomorrow People.
Very
To
much.
think of, Professor, that's all.
She's
And they
brought
are in
him along.
Egypt. They are in Egypt.
They are, yes.
How do we know
Egypt
that?
in Teddington.
How do we know they're in Egypt? Is what I want to know.
Because of the stock footage at the beginning.
Ah, right.
I mean, the location filming.
Yes.
It is quite confusing, because when we started watching the first bit, it looked like the last episode we watched yesterday.
Yes, the cool tarn.
The Cool Tarn, yes.
Well, you know, once they paid for that stock footage, they were going to get some
They were going to get
mileage.
their
Once they
money.
pay for the set as well.
Indeed.
I don't remember
That was
this
Jason
act.
Haig-Ellery, everyone.
Sorry.
He spoke.
There we all are standing.
Terrible dandruff by the look of his jacket there.
Talking about paying for the set.
Yes, it's the same set from Secret Weapon, isn't it?
And the one that got blown up. Well, I suppose it would be. It's his office.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Oh, I remember that shirt, the diagonal red stripes. I had that shirt for years.
That collar's trying to get out of the jacket
It
there.
is. It really, yeah. It does make Harry Hall look quite modest, doesn't it?
What are the chances of that happening? I said that yesterday, but no one laughed then either. I'll just
Heads
move
in.
on.
Did you believe, Professor Johnson?
And the producer, Jason, is sitting there and absolutely saying nothing at all.
I'm leaving it to the professionals.
Is this Dennis Kirkland one? I can't remember who directed this one.
Absolutely.
Anybody
Stuff
know?
and nonsense was what she said.
Stuff and nonsense.
I
Not
don't
an
know,
expression
actually.
you'd
We'll
find
have to
nowadays,
out.
I don't think.
You're looking quite chilled there, Nick.
Yeah, for a change. Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The more relaxed, more into
Yeah.
the role.
absolutely.
Yes, he's finally got there after.
Yes. Look, holding
years.
a cup in one hand and acting, it's a feat.
Yeah. Well, you never managed to progress to the cup, did you, Peter?
No, the thing is, in this episode, I keep eating a lot. I'm always stuffing
Was
myself.
anything to stop you talking? I think.
Yeah.
Anything to explain the lisp.
It was a tied tongue. It wasn't my fault.
Yes, didn't excuse the camp walk there, did it?
I was mincing and not at camp.
So in terms of relaxed acting, you go from hands on hip
Hands
to
on
cup
hips.
holding.
That's it, yes. And notice there is no paunch in reality. You see that was just an optical illusion in the last story.
Ooh.
Oh, what am I doing there?
I think you're just sucking in.
Transporter belt, take me all that,
You'd better give him an extra boost, Tim.
There's an offer you can't turn down.
Here's the belt. One boost or two? No, I don't have boosts in mine.
So, Peter, what's your first interesting fact that you've prepared for us?
For on this?
Yes.
I haven't.
I know. I was just trying to cajole you into it.
I know there's two of me.
Oh yes.
Yes.
This was a famous magician called
Ali Bongo.
There you go.
Now that I've still got that statue.
Have you really?
Yeah. I've got the head.
Oh, just the head.
Just the head. I lost the rest of the body,
You must have broken it
but I've
off.
still got it at home.
Did you buy that after the show?
No, I actually stuck it under my jacket and walked out.
What, the whole of that?
The whole thing, yes. One of the prop guys gave it to me because they actually modelled it on my face. They did take photographs, and
Yes, it is.
as you can see,
Yes. Is that you there?
it is me.
Was it really
Not
you?
wrapped up in that.
Oh, no, that's what I was asking.
Okay. It's a wrap, fellas.
This is the evil me.
Wow, look at that.
He's a very good magician, isn't he?
This is meant to be
And you
opportunity
can
knocks,
hear
isn't it?
Huey Green's voice, can't you? Listen. If you...
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you tremendously. That was Mustafa, folks. Yes, Mustafa with something really different.
Do you think was that really Huey Green?
Might have
It
been.
sounds it.
He
He
was
was-
down there at Thames all the time in those days.
They used to do opportunity knocks in Studio 1, and we were
Yeah.
in Studio 2, weren't we?
For those who don't know, that was a big talent show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In those days.
Yeah.
Really high rating.
Who was his? Didn't he have a love child, Huey Green?
Well, that's another story. Which
That is another
Nothing
story,
to do
yeah.
with the Tomorrow
Nothing to
People.
do with the Tomorrow People.
He was one of the big larger-than-life TV characters.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
But he doesn't actually. I was expecting him to actually appear on camera, but he doesn't.
Oh.
Nick, can I ask you about this hands on hip things? Because everyone seems to be doing it. I've noticed you started it.
That's right. The thing is that bad actors never know what to do with their hands. If you notice in a scene when an actor's not doing anything, bad actors tend to fiddle with their fingers. So the safest thing to do, if you're not a terribly good actor, is to put your hands somewhere. And I see Peter evolved with the folding arms,
Folding arms.
school of acting. And I did the hands on hips, but still look butch school of acting. Others didn't quite manage to achieve it with the same level of masculinity.
Apparently, doing Shakespeare is very good for working out what to do with your hands because there are no pockets in Shakespeare.
Well, I was going to say, you've only got tights, haven't you?
Yes.
And a cod piece. Whereas this
Peter,
is
were you
just
practising
this is
with
just-
your hands over there?
Whereas
What
this
were
is
you
just a
doing?
tight cod piece.
keep telling you it wasn't me.
Modesty.
Have they washed his
my
hair?
word. They have, haven't they? It's a bit
Yes.
long and fluffy. I'm not too sure about that, Barnett. Ugh.
But Tyso, yes.
Tyso, we've all gone very long.
It's Tyso. The recording takes place at the studio today.
Today studio. Of course,
Oh.
Tim.
Now, here's the heavy breathing.
Are you,
This
what,
is evil me.
what you see yourself in the mirror and then you start heavy breathing, do you?
Yes.
I see.
Nasty me.
How do we know it's the nasty you? There's a subtle change in your
Acting ability.
performance,
Yeah.
Slightly stiffer than usual. Is how I would describe it.
How dare. Look at that evil. Even with that hairdo.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Yes.
And with your hair around his head. That's interesting.
Nice beard suits me.
You never actually got that close to Francis de Wolfe, who played Jedikiah, did you?
No.
You and he were very close, weren't you, Nicholas?
Yes, indeed.
Geographically.
Oh, look, actually, you look much better when you're being evil than when you look pretty.
It's like in Secret Weapon when you were pretending to be a stroppy young lad.
Yeah, I know. It probably works quite well. When I try to be nice.
Characterisation.
Yes, it just doesn't work for me. I like evil. Bitter and twisted. The motivation of Mike Holloway brings to mind.
Jason, wasn't Peter evil in one of the audio?
He was indeed, yes, and very evil he was too.
Yeah.
I shouldn't ask too many questions if I were you.
Mind you, we've just blown the plot now.
Of course, you talk of Michael Holloway, but at this point, we would have said, who Michael Holloway?
Ah, yes, he was just being groomed by now.
Holloway to us then was just an area of North London.
Or indeed a prison.
Well, there you go. A place to incarcerate women.
Ooh.
That's an interesting point you make there.
Do you think Mike was named after a place to incarcerate women?
Possibly. Although Peter might have felt he should have been within these walls. That's a fetching number she's got on there. Look at that.
It is, isn't it?
It's Naomi Campbell, if ever I saw one. There you are. Look, hands on the hips again.
Yeah. She's got her hands in her
I don't
pockets.
know why the archaeologists bother with you lot around. Why don't you tell them where they're going wrong?
Oh.
He's going for the hands straight by his side.
Well, he's a better actor, you see, so he can leave his hands by his side without fiddling with them. But you notice what I mean.
There we go.
Yeah, it is an indication of a bad actor, actually. Don't know what to do with your hands.
Or bad directing, really. They could be told, really. We could have been told to do something else.
It's nervous reaction. People just sit there.
Oh, love, you've either got it or you haven't.
Well,
I suppose, yes, true.
I say, look,
actually, he's come from the Peter Vaughan Clark School of Acting. He's got his arms folded. Look, the
the mummy.
The mummy.
Slightest mistake.
I've got mine folded now.
Slightest mistake.
Well, then he'll just fall into dust. Is that what we were saying?
Professor Johnston!
That's quite horrible for a kids' programme.
Yeah, it is.
Very nasty.
She's been there for weeks.
I think the suggestion there is that he was into necrophilia. Is that what it is?
They're boring.
Indeed.
Doesn't look anything like me.
I remember this, yes.
And that really was Thames Television's studio audience, wasn't it?
Ali Bongo was quite big on kids' TV, wasn't he?
Camp with a Lamp, I think is what he was known as. Now, that's probably a real Thames Television. They were ex-Nazis, weren't they, the doorman at Thames?
Allegedly.
They wouldn't
and
allow...
look, there's Anne Curtois,
Oh, no.
who in fact is here today, but she's decided not to say anything.
Right. Simply because she's not being paid. Yeah, the Thames... Oh, look, yes.
Yeah. You see, there never was two of you, Nick, was there?
I think they felt one was enough.
One was enough, was it?
Sufficient to get the point across.
They were trying to multiply your talent.
That's right. Have we discussed the Thames Television, Dorman? I can't remember.
Only that they were
never let you into the car park.
No,
they'd never let you into the car park. Do you remember, Peter?
Yes, I remember.
We tried to get into the car park, and I remonstrated with one of them one day, and he said, "Not enough room in the car park for us lot, never mind you effing actors." And I did have to point out to him, if it wasn't for us effing actors, he wouldn't have a job.
And then, you were taken to casualties shortly afterwards, were you?
They're probably still the same down there, actually.
Well, actually, the MG, if you put the windscreen down, you could drive under the barrier. Do you remember we did that one? You couldn't do anything about it.
She walked out of here with me and the tomb was sealed. How could anyone have got her body back?
What?
You're assuming that it
Got her
was
body back.
Professor Johnston that walked out with you.
See, the butch stance there, look.
Look at those great trousers.
Yes.
Oh, word.
Well, they would, as I say, they would stand up on their own if you stepped out of them.
It was her. Known her for years.
A bit of a crinkly shirt. I seem to be obsessed with his shirts. I think I
Well, I think
get
he's
alive.
possibly a little bit fat for that shirt.
You tell me what you think might have happened.
Still, this was before body fascism, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I think
You could be any shape.
my slim figure was considered, you know...
Quite unnatural,
The
actually.
Kultan was
So it was the Kultan, then, again.
visited other planets apart from the Earth.
Yes, it's all to do with why Jedikiah's there, the Kultan. They cook up some strange story about it.
Many different forms.
That's a bit difficult to believe.
It's quite low to sit down there, isn't it? I think that step could have done with being a bit higher. Did I actually say that? Or
I was
I
wondering
just
what,
thinking it?
what drivel is
Oh,
Nick
hello.
talking?
Who was she? When was that all about?
She was just showing.
She was
the
just
whole
showing
thing
that the
about
fact she
shape
can-
changing.
Oh, so she could have given herself a bigger pair without having any plastic then.
So why didn't they make me, same character, get rid of me, get Mike Holloway in and call him Stephen? And just shape change?
But there would have
No,
been,
she just said that was an optical illusion.
I
actually.
see.
but I think there would have been a difference in the quality of the acting, which would have been quite noticeable. And the drum beating would have been a bit better as well. I don't know what your beating was like, but
I'm very good.
yes, I think Mike's was more rhythmic and more accurate.
There's a kit here if you want to. Is there? Oh, no, there's some bongos here. Ali bongos.
Well, after all, do you, Professor?
But why?
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 Not just to murder Professor Johnston, surely.
No, she just...
There's
I've told her before, stop calling me Shirley.
got little props everywhere they've got lying about, isn't it?
See, the thing is, I can move as well as have my hands on my hips. Not many actors can do that.
Yeah.
Elizabeth's given up. I haven't got any lines. I'm sitting down.
It is just a theory, but it could be the right one.
Then where is this creature now?
Oh.
That's something we're going to have to find out.
See, actors in those days used to speak so much better, didn't they? Don't you think?
Yes.
Beautiful English from both of us.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't get used to EastEnders now, would
No,
you?
no. Again, that Thames employee's not allowed to speak, is he? Look.
Anne, what do you remember of this? Well, nothing.
Well, can I go yet, please?
Please don't make me come
Look at the size of those cameras. They're the actual ones we used to use.
Why couldn't you walk down the steps?
We're sneaking out.
Oh, are you?
I've got to go and try and...
Whatever it is. You keep an eye on the magician and me.
Sounded a bit gruff there, Peter.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fluff.
One of the things I've
Someone's a bit
noticed
of fluff, did you say?
is that Elizabeth seems to wear the same belt all the time, because I noticed by the, sad of me to notice, but
Oh, the little
she's got
dots.
the same dots. Did you used to keep your own belts, as it were?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I think they
It's
used
a
to
great
give it-
question. It's a pity you don't have a good answer. for
No,
it.
well,
What did you notice about...
Well, Elizabeth's been, because those are very standardised dots, you know, it's four black down either side and white in the middle.
God, you're right.
She's been wearing that for every single story.
Right.
well, I'll have to count
What
my
were you
dots.
doing looking at Elizabeth Adair's navel throughout?
I have no idea.
Oh, Ali Bongo.
Likes a navel
When
encounter.
she was in the
hasn't
studio the other month, were you looking at her navel then?
No.
These people.
As they say in the lovey business, if they're looking at your navel, there's something wrong with your acting. I think that's what they used to say, wasn't it?
That chap who walked past just now, it's strange he never married, isn't it?
Evil me.
You see, this is why I was convinced that he wasn't actually going to appear, because they're just using a photo.
Yeah,
of
it's just
him.
a still, isn't it, that one?
Yeah. I thought this was all an elaborate technique to avoid getting the same actor back.
How does Tyso know that it's not the real you?
Because he's just left the real you in the... Oh, he's a bit confused, actually.
Yes. Well, I'm around the corner, I
Does he
think.
ask for your autograph to check your signature, do you think? Because that's quite a good way of doing it, isn't it? If you signed your name beautifully, he'd say, it can't be you, because you can't write. Not only can you not
You'd
act
just be doing a
or
big
speak,
cross,
but
wouldn't
you
you?
can't act. You can't write either.
How cruel.
This is a good scene, actually. I think you do very well.
I think it's quite, you know...
It just goes to show that he was not given a meaty enough role. Whatever they gave you, it wasn't meaty enough.
It was Roger.
What's that on Tyso's lower jacket there? Just below the belt, in fact.
It's a hole.
Is it?
Or a price tag.
A Roger price tag?
Look at that. What about... I would have photographs, wouldn't I?
Pen. Look,
I ain't got a pen either.
I ain't got no pen either.
You see, I'm actually not looking where I'm getting these pens. That's quite incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that he would notice you were behaving strangely, or do you think he would just put the stiffness down to the usual performance?
Usual performance, you were late and you've forgotten your lines.
I mean, I'd have thought anday we would have asked for a DNA sample even in those days, didn't you?
Yeah, that's true.
Would you please give me a specimen into this tube, I think is what you'd probably have said. So he is, you see, that's exactly what it is. He's looking at the signature.
John, I don't want to hustle you out, but I've got rather a lot of rehearsing to do.
John?
And members of the public aren't usually allowed...
Who's John?
No, he changed his name, didn't he?
Oh, he called himself John.
John.
I thought all of a sudden I was just about to answer
Oh,
him.
yes,
I
John
thought-
Smith, he said, isn't it?
35 years disappeared all in one go, and I was just about to say yes.
Oh, he's got all blurry.
So you're an asthmatic, Peter. Let's
give up smoking.
I was going to say, it sounds exactly the same now.
Phil, why are you doing that? I got your autograph.
I didn't write that.
Maybe not, but it's your name.
You got it from him?
Yeah, he not only looks like you.
God, that hair's a bit sort of over the
Oh,
top.
it's
In fact,
really
I would
bad.
say they're grooming you into Michael Holloway. It's almost like the haircut that he has. isn't
Dear.
it?
Yes, it's...
Oh, it's Tricia.
Now, do you remember this bit, Anne? What do you think when you went in there?
Absolutely.
Still don't remember it. Is that a man from the ministry out there who's reading the Daily Telegraph? Outside the
Yeah,
door there?
it's the I'm not Colonel Masters
Oh,
person.
right.
Here we have the big Kultan
Do you recognise this
explanation.
Kultan? Have you seen this nose and pair of ears before?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, Tim's farting
Here we
again.
go, here we go.
Tim farting, is that
Yes,
indigestion?
Timeless Ernest Mockstock.
That's easy for you to say.
Oh, my word.
He's getting married.
It's My Fair Lady.
He really did love all this.
He did, didn't he?
The opportunity to
Dress
show
up.
off and
The extra fee.
Try and be a little bit camp, which
Tap
came,
dance down the stairs.
We should have got him in for these episodes.
Yeah.
we should have.
Because he does enjoy just sitting and watching them and not saying anything.
You will correct me if I'm wrong.
It'll do fine, Titus.
I have been
Just as well he wasn't taught how to do an earth greeting by Gary Glitter, wasn't it?
I've noticed he always wore gloves.
Yes, that's true. He did. We wore gloves all the time. I think
We were the
he just
untouchables.
he loved the idea of it. I think costumes was. Yes. Sit yourself down.
It seems the Kultan sent a
It was very ungentlemanly of me, wasn't it? To sit before he did.
Incredibly, they found something there.
I'm sure that was a bit of business that Philip insisted on.
I'm sure you're quite right.
Legs were damaged, but it was still functioning.
Take
I
his
think
hat
he's got
off.
more than damaged memory bags, didn't you?
And something totally new for the Kultan.
Something severely damaged about him.
Totally new.
It could alter its appearance at will.
Is he changing his shape under the table there, do you think?
When Kenny and Carol were still on Earth.
Oh, he's talking to himself now, isn't he? See, this does interest me, actually. Why sometimes is Tim incredibly colourful, and in other episodes he's as grey as...
Regular viewers of these DVDs will notice Nicholas Young's obsession with the colour of Tim's balls.
But it's true, isn't it?
Yes, it's...
And I think it looks much better when he's rich.
Yes. There's nothing like rich colourful balls
No.
to spice up an episode of The Tomorrow People.
Time travel is not one of your abilities. There have been
Oh, wait a minute. I thought we had time. I thought we had trouble.
But his name's Timus.
under the supervision of the Guardians of Time.
Possibly the most stupid comment I've ever made, in fact.
And one that I have never enjoyed myself.
Have we not? We had time travel. What's he talking about? We went back to Roman times.
Yes.
But the Galactic Trig did it for you, didn't they, or something?
Did they?
Yes, I think you're
The
right.
Guardians of Time.
The Guardians of Time. You see,
speak to our,
Jason.
oh,
I
yes,
knew Jason
Pete.
was here for a good
Yes.
reason.
Peter was a Time Lord, wasn't he?
Not a Time Lord.
Wasn't he a Time Lord?
What was he?
Guardians of Time.
A Guardian of Time. A Time Lord's another lot.
That's Doctor Who.
It's Doctor Who, isn't it?
He was another boy, a small boy in a cage, wasn't he? As I seem to remember.
Yes. Running
See,
thing.
that's my best angle, you see. You may, I'm sure you'll
Excellent.
agree. Isn't it?
Although it was quite good in one of the previous ones where you just had half your face lit.
Ah, no, you saw the other side of my face there. Ah, here you are, Anne. What do you think? Think you've changed much? Mind you, yes?
You could.
She's got a different shirt on. What do you think?
Same jacket.
It's a bit whiffy.
I can understand you're putting up a mind barrier against me, but I can't understand your pretending that you don't know me.
Well, we had a lot of acting together, did me and Anne.
This whole business of Colonel Masters not being in it, do you know what that was about?
Yes, I think he was tied up doing something frightfully important for his country. I think it was Camberley Panto, wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
Because I think she
we
gets
go
all
back to
his
the bunker.
lines, really.
Yes.
What was I doing there, wiping my nose just before we started? We do all look like a hair commercial, don't we? There's no doubt about it.
Nice and shiny. Backlit, lovely.
Khan repaired that shape changer and used him as an ancient Egyptian pharaoh.
Actually, I think the budgets on clothes were a bit tight on this particular episode because I'm still in the same outfit and I'm 10 minutes into the show.
By having himself entombed as an ancient Egyptian king,
I
thousands.
haven't seen you in a dressing gown for a while, actually.
No, I've still got that dressing gown. It's in the garage.
I mean, he's wearing one now. Could you do it up a little tighter, actually,
He's
Nicholas?
only come back so he can get his revenge on us.
The Revenge of Jedikiah, in fact.
Damaged, he can't remember where the lab is.
I always thought
Memory bank's damaged.
he can't remember where the lab
Damaged
is.
memory banks. All he's got to do is ask a London Transport employee and he'd tell him. The disc. Oh, hello.
Blimey, that was it.
Colour. Look at that.
Look at, wow.
Very red.
Still Elizabeth first.
I didn't say it, Peter, but I agree with you.
Well, that was all rather good, I thought.
It's rather good, yes. It's coming along. Ali Bongo. Ooh. Tyso gets a bit of a drop in the old... Thomas Cook.
Well, at least he's in the credits, which is more we say about you in the next
And
series.
Ryder.
Isn't it done in height order or something?
Yeah.
Dudley Simpson's quite short, obviously.
Yes. Right. Same as before.
Who directed? Was it Dennis? No, Vic.
Vic
Oh,
Hughes.
Right.